What's going on? Is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. This place is absolutely beautiful. I was hearing people online when I was talking about staying here, because I never actually had been to this property prior to coming to DC and staying here for the festivities and the inauguration and the balls and all of that stuff. But it's absolutely beautiful. I said the year of the snake, and somebody was mistaken and not understanding exactly what that meant. Every year in the Chinese New Year, I think it was one year, the year of the rat, the year of the snake, and all of that. It's like a different animal that they celebrate or they highlight as some form of good luck or fortune. And what people also don't know is that you are amongst the biggest gambling group in the world. And I'm talking about Asian culture, Chinese culture. Some of the biggest casinos in the world is over in Macau. And it's absolutely interesting to see. And their favorite game to play is Baccarat. So I'm not really into Baccarat. I'm not really into gambling as much anymore. Occasionally, recreationally, if it's convenient when you go, but be busy, having so much to do, it's not a priority. But that's not what I really want to talk to you guys about today. I want to talk to you guys before I end up back in the studio in the next set of days, which is Wednesday. Wednesday is when I'm going back into the studio. Maybe not, I don't know. But I want to talk to you guys about this whole Barack Obama-Michelle debacle that's starting to gain traction and steam. And I don't usually comment on rumors, but we comment on people that are public figures that are a part of the culture, and whether or not we think that that's going to resonate in popular culture. And that's why it's important. It's not so much important about their relationship, because their relationship is whatever their relationship is, right? It's more or less important about what the fallout and the repercussions are if, in fact, some of these things are true. And even if it's not true, what it represents. Because it's not about, it is the year of the snake. It's not about whether or not it's true. It's more or less about how it impacts and what we're influenced by and who we should look up to. Now, I usually say that we shouldn't look up to rappers and entertainers and people like that, but we absolutely should pay attention to presidents, first ladies, because that is our cultural norm. It is what is supposed to shape how we live our lives. I mean, for goodness sake, we don't even elect presidents that aren't married. You have to be a certain age, which means that you have to have a certain lived experience before you're considered to be president of the United States of America. Now, I know with some of these other positions like Congress, you can become a lifetime Congress member. We need to have term limits. We need to also have limits on how old you can be in Congress, so on and so forth, because I think that they're completely disconnected from what's happening in the culture. I know that local government plays a smaller role in that you can possibly do anything you want. I mean, Tiffany Henyard over in small Dayton, Illinois, was both the supervisor of Thornton Township as well as mayor of Dayton, and she ran that city into the ground. But you have to have certain lived experiences, and also to be married is a representation of stability. It also represents your ability to make smart decisions, surround yourself with the right people. So your spouse and what she represents for you is also impactful when we talk about public culture, right, or popular culture. And so when we sit and have these conversations, I want y'all to think about this, because I know that the ladies are already getting upset, right? I initially reported on this yesterday, and the ladies were hot and bothered, which just shows me that y'all are ready for crash out season. If, in fact, there are rumors that prove to be true that Michelle Obama is actually representing her husband in a negative way, right? Let's look at it from both angles, right? Let's say, for example, that she is not, in fact, causing some kind of ruckus, or that there's not any real divorce rumors that could be substantiated. Okay, cool. But absolutely, positively, 100%, she still makes her husband look like a piece of shit by not showing up and appearing at these appearances. Now, some people want to assume the worst, or they want to give her the benefit of the doubt, meaning that I want to say things like, well, what if she's super sick, or she has cancer or something like that? Don't you think for 1 minute that if that is the case, that he would 100% be by her side, or immediately, and when I say immediately right after the inauguration, and all of these other things, pull up and head right back, taking that private plane that they always take, because they running up all of the bag, taking that private plane back to wherever it is that she would be in a hospital or treating whatever problem that she has. But that's not what happens. What's happening is, there's a lot of music over here, so we're gonna come back. Oh, I wanna show y'all how beautiful this is. Like, look how beautiful this place is, right? They do drinks and I guess some kind of teas and all of that. You see these screens? They're pretty dope. But that's not what's happening. You know what's happening? He's seeing all smiles pulling up to the restaurant and the back door, supposedly meeting people. And the rumor is that he's actually kicking it with Jennifer Aniston. Now again, I can't substantiate that. I won't say that that's true or false. We will wait to see what the facts are. But the fact of the matter is, he seems happier than ever now that she's not with him, versus having to simp out and then justify his bad thoughts and the things that he continues to tell other people to do and crash out when she's around. He seems ecstatic. He got a new pep in his step. He walking around and all of this other type of stuff. Now, one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to disrespect her, right? You've never seen me call her out of her name, I don't think. I mean, I've called her disrespectful and all of this type of stuff, according to what she was telling people to do and vote for and go against their husbands. Oh, think about that for a minute. Remember during the presidential election when Kamala Harris was running and she was saying to even go against the man in your household and vote for what's best for women? Listen, I know y'all want to ignore the signs. Y'all want to act like it's not a thing. Oh, that's just something that they were saying at the time. It's too many gaffes. It's too many things that you can reference back to and say, why did she say that? Or why did she do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would she say that? Of all of the things that you could have said in order to try to convince black people or convince women to vote for Kamala Harris, that's the rhetoric that you chose. You chose to say, even if you need to go against your husbands, don't listen to them. Do what you feel is best. And then he got on board naturally because technically he was kind of like sort of the makeshift leader of the Democratic Party. He was y'all messiah, but now we're starting to see chinks and cracks in the armor. I know this for a fact, that if this is in any way, shape, or form true, then it's going to be hell to pay, and you're going to see women crashing out and rates like never before. Never before. When you are in a position of leadership, you have to do the thing that's uncomfortable for you and hold it down. And if, in fact, she is even just throwing a tantrum, even if he is not out here and about to seek a divorce and all of this other type of stuff, it still makes him look bad. And this is how you know the culture is 100% fucked up, is that we would rather cheer on her bad behavior and her bad rhetoric instead of making sure that we hold our leaders accountable for what a great relationship and what traditional values are supposed to espouse. Now, I'm not saying that people can't do what they want to do, especially after your children get big. I'm not saying that they can't get a divorce. They absolutely can. But all I am saying is, what does it say? What does it represent? And what does it speak to? What is the message that we send to popular culture, to our children? What is the message that we're sending to women and black women and people all over the world? What is the message that we're sending? And that the first quote unquote black president of all time has a disrespectful spouse and potentially maybe has a person that is not representing him in the right way and could be possibly getting a divorce. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is it's worth a conversation. It's worth talking about. It's worth evaluating. It's worth thinking about and evaluating at a higher level, because we just can't ignore it. It's a part of popular culture. They are public figures, and this is what they signed up for. Everything you do from here on out, from the day that you are born to the day that you wind up getting into public space, all the way up until the day that you die, is going to be public fodder. He can't get a regular job. They are rich as hell, right? Everything that they've sold us is based off of having a strong family unit. And so we're not just going to ignore it for the sake of conversation. We got to have that conversation. We got to talk about it. We got to speak to it. It's worth having a conversation about. So don't you fucking sit here and tell me that I can't speak on it. Don't you tell me that I can't talk about it. Don't you tell me that it ain't worth me having a conversation about it. It is, and I am, and you're not gonna shut us up. But you better hope it's not true. And if it's not true, she need to get her ass together, get her legs in gear, and start making her husband look better, because it's not looking good for them and it's not looking good for the culture. I'm curious as to what you guys think. Make sure you tap into the Patreon, link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you, I appreciate you. It has been a phenomenal trip here in DC, which is the complete opposite of what we have seen over in Portland. And I can't wait to get back to Detroit to come and kick it with you guys. I love you, I appreciate you. You guys are the greatest ever. We got Stock Club coming up too. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.